Aloha kako pau. Welcome to Voices of Truth, coming to you from the Kiloa Foundation. And today, our segments coming to you from the palace grounds, Iolani Palace, Honolulu, the seat of the Hawaiian government, on Sunday, January 16th, 2006. We're here for the commemoration of the 113th anniversary of the overthrow of Liu'uokalani and the sovereign kingdom of Hawaii. We have interviews, snips of several of people who participated here, and we hope that you'll enjoy them sharing their mana'o. We hope that this might encourage those of you who didn't make it down here this year to look for these opportunities to participate in the future. And so we go on.
Breaks up. Okay? April 21st, Declaration. America now needs Hawaii because they not only have to fight the Spanish in Cuba and Puerto Rico, the Caribbean, but they also have to fight the Spanish in Guam and the Philippines in two theaters. We gotta send them out.
Aloha and welcome once again to another segment coming here from the palace grounds. And we're very pleased to have with us Manu Kayyama. Aloha, Manu. Thank you for coming.
How are you,
Well, I'm doing just fine, and I'm so happy to see you and your husband and the family here. And we appreciate just a few minutes of your time, maybe to share whatever your impressions are of what's going on here on the grounds, or about any of the issues that are being discussed, or where you're at presently. We'd just like to have our people get to know just a little bit about you and what's on your mind.
Okay, well, mahalo nui for inviting me to come and speak, Kaiopua. I appreciate the chance to be here this Sunday. Is really momentous. I think that all of our Hawaiian families should make the time to come out to see what this is about. There's so much information that we need to disseminate to all our people, so this is a great venue in order to educate and to rejuvenate our people into knowing what's right and what we need to do next for our future. It's really an honor for me to be here because I'm around so many people like yourself, like Henry Noah, like Uncle Mel Kalahiki, just so many leaders in our community, Bumpy Kanahele, where I've learned so much from them, and they have so much to offer. And if we, as the next generation, don't come out and speak to these people, then we won't have another group of people carrying on for our own Hawaiian nation. So I'm just really honored to be able to be here, and I think other people should take advantage of the opportunity because it only happens once a year.
Well, there are obviously other opportunities, but Skippy Iolani mentioned, he talked earlier about his daughter and the next generation, and who's going to come on board, and what a perfect place for people for the children to immerse themselves and become acquainted. But the other thing that you mentioned about the tremendous opportunity to get together, even among ourselves. I mean, how frequently do we have the time to visit and catch up? And here is an opportunity. So I'm certainly happy that you came by. And I'm certainly happy that you had the time to spend a few minutes with us. Any closing comments you'd like to make?
No, just want to say mahalo nui for your efforts and for bringing the message out to the people. And I guess I'll see you on Olelo.
Okay, mahalo nui. Thank you.
Thank you.
She says time only moves forward. And this was part of the fundamental belief of our Hawaii people. You look at as he moved his political agenda in Hawaii, he was
to the second stage. And what is that second stage of decolonization? It's a stage of bitterness.
Here with Skippy Iolani from Big Island. Skippy, welcome. Glad to see you here once again on the Palace grounds, January 16th, 2006. What do you think? Been here before a couple times, huh?
Yes. Hi. Aloha. We've been here many times, and we're still trying to. Alibaba, the 40 thieves, open the doors at Iolani Palace. Open sesame. Let us in.
You think we're making any progress?
Well, I think we have progressed to a point that I feel at our age group, we've done what we can do.
Yeah.
And whether or not the next generation, when we have to give them the gift, what they do with them may or may not end up with what we thought we were going to start up and end up with.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think when I die, as their kuleana, but I'm not dead yet, you know. But because like even you, look how many we've been doing this over 25, 30 years, 40 years, and it appears that kukai is repetitive. You know, the shit is going in a circle, and we may end up back again where we were in
At the starting point? Uh-oh.
Yeah. But hopefully we'll be better prepared with better foot gear and, because as the politicians leave and Hawaiian Homes commissioners leave, we no leave.
Yeah.
We never leave, but the politicians we're going through politicians like diarrhea. And we need something a little bit more solid to solidify that we can pass on.
Firm it up.
Firm it up,
Firm it up. Yeah.
What do you call that stuff now? Roughage. Roughage. We need some roughage here in the movement because it's just running through the motion, and the political monster. He doesn't appear to appreciate our efforts at all.
Yeah.
And whether Republican or Democrat, no matter. We just not. To me now, we need a mechanism where we can accept the total ass whooping we're getting from the Christian Caucasian colonist crusader. If we can understand the ass whooping we're receiving, maybe we could better to participate. What is Bugger making noise? We better to participate with each other, because as you see, sitting down in this arena, get different gangs in their own camp, and they should at least be sending envoys to aloha each other's camp.
Yeah.
Acknowledge each other in a positive manner, so that just acknowledge each other, even if can sit down together. And then because what if the people like me, who is free and independent at this point, I never see the king or prime minister or government I follow.
Yeah. It's still not totally together yet. I think we're talking about the circle, and we're talking about a circle that goes right around in the same line and has to run into the starting point again.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that kind of. I'd rather see one that works like a coil.
So we
don't bump into the starting point.
I hope so. So what I'm hoping is, to see the, so that's why I believe we have not attracted. Look, my daughter, she come just for pick me up. She never come for listen. We haven't attracted the incoming personnel with the drive to follow through with the movement that we've created. And that's why you see everybody here get white hair. You don't see dark-haired people here. If they are, it's dye. So what?
Came out of a bottle.
Came out of a bottle. So there's something. Either we're doing something wrong, or we're not quite got them right.
Well, let me say something about. You mentioned your daughter. Okay, I've seen the children of some heavy-duty activists who passed away, who the kids never really came into their own until after the parents were gone. I'm not saying you gotta check out.
I don't mind dying.
Yeah, but the thing is, you've already instilled in them, or they've already absorbed it, whether they like it or not. They just may not be showing it right now.
I understand.
So I still got hope for that.
I got hope for that. Cause when they went out to Ottawa, I heard my daughter told a great congregation, "We're so proud you guys came from us." So she called me up. She saw a word. I said, "Baby, don't be scared.
Yeah.
You said the righteous thing.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Don't be humble, grumble.
Yeah, whatever comes up.
What come at so?
Yeah. Well, what are you doing on Hawaii Island? What are you guys doing over there?
Well, you know what? We have not regressed, but we haven't progressed. So we've been working with the deadhead Department of Hawaiian Homes, and then we're just not getting nothing out of them.
Yeah.
So so we kind of stymied ourselves, believing that good luck will come in their direction.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to try to do with our village is just build our own community center without funding, because we get on 501c3 pepper. We never use them yet because we don't know how. Because the lady who made them for us went Fiji. So we get this pepper, nobody can read them. So we even figure out, no wait, we're going to build with sweat equity.
Yeah.
And then I'm hoping that through this construction of our community center, that we can, the next generation, and I'd like to say something about a lot of the next generation. I see them. In our days, we had the Vietnam War, and either you go war or you draft Dodger. But one way or the other, you was forced to move.
Yeah.
Now that no more the draft, a lot of the kids in my village, I'm not going to call them lame because they might see this on TV. But I see that they drive
Kind
no
of low
more.
energy, huh? Kind of low
Yeah,
energy.
real. And they don't buy beer.
Uh-oh.
But that's all right, because I used to mooch when I was younger, so I give my beer. But what I notice is that their drive and concentration is reflective of the Hawaiian movement also. It's treading water. And so that if we, as the elders and the uncles, have no direction, then the reflection in my nephews is evident. It's the same. So that I think that we have to go back, and the step is, may I offer this advice? Wherever get Hawaiian homes or seeded lands, take your K-knife, come along, hydraulic jack, chainsaw, occupy. And the best way when you occupy, make your outhouse first. So that way, when anybody come check you out, hey, there you on the back of the van, bro. Look, your picture. That's your picture? Anyway, when you go to the forest, make an outhouse so that you show the connection to the earth by not throwing your shit all over and having doodoo pepper all over the bushes. Make your doodoo one place. So when you come kick out, when they come get you, at least you're going to look like a keiki o ka'aina and not a homeless transient. And I wish you guys the best of luck. And I'm going to give you my phone number, but call Kaipua and I can tell you how for do occupy land is, I'll go give you one advice. There's two things you look for when you occupy. Whether you like water or you like energy. If you like water, you go to the east side. If you like energy, you go to the west side, because then you can go solar. But better you go for the water. Then by the solar. Better get half solar and plenty water than plenty energy and no water. Aloha.
Words of wisdom from Skippy Iolani. Mahalo, Skippy. We'll catch you next time.
Okay, Carl.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Can I go?
Always a pleasure.
That before the Hawaiians were regarded as worshiping what she calls the king, Kani and Lomu, there was a deeper Hawaiian language, and the deeper Hawaiian religion was contained in the language, and within the language it was shredded into different God elements. You had the God element of light, and you all feel it right now through the sunlight. There were certain words that express light. You had the God element of time. You had the God.
We have with us now Kiloa Ko. I'd like to have him share a little mana'o with our viewers. Once again, we're here on the palace grounds. I'd like to see if you can give us a little background on yourself. What moves you? Does any of this move you? What do you think about what's happening, et cetera, whatever you feel comfortable with sharing. Yeah, Kali?
Aloha nui, kabili na ko apau. Kali ko ka'eo. I'm actually born and raised from the island of Maui. I've been participating in the Sovereign Sunday perhaps from the late 80s when Koipuna Prijin was organizing the event before his passing. And actually, probably my first public or political speech was made actually at this event those many years ago. And so for me, there's always been this deep connection. Conscious-wise, as a Kanaka from Maui, I kind of was born into the whole movement, quote-unquote, per se. But it's really my move from Maui to Oahu where I kind of experienced my political education to step forward to start to speak about these kinds of issues that affect our people. And the thread for me that has been the most important or the most powerful has been a thread, of course, of understanding our own history. And when I talk about history, it's not just the history of what happened in 1893 or what happens in 1920 or 1945. But when I'm talking about history, for me, it's understanding that our history as a people, we go back over 1,000 generations. We're not Johnny come lately onto this planet, but we actually come from a people who have had a long existence and a known existence and deeply rooted in the Pacific. So we talk about history. It's important for us as a people to understand our place, not just in modern world history, but in world history. So we can start from whether you want to talk about the innovations that our kupuna made, from technology in agriculture, to wetland farming, to dryland farming, to aquaculture with fish ponds. But also when you want to talk about navigation or sailing across, this is the Pacific Ocean that covers 1/3 of the planet, and it was our kupuna who sailed across this ocean in a time when, in places like in Europe, where people basically still lived in caves, Point being is that we come from a history, a proud and rich history that all our kiki and all our young should understand. So when we walk upon this earth, we walk upon people that are not objects of history, but subjects of history. That our history, again, reaches back. If the United States is 200 plus years old, that's really just a fragment of our own history. We're talking about thousands of years that our people have been around us, walked this earth, and sailed the ocean. That goes back.
Section on the timeline. How did you make yourself more aware? How did you educate yourself, or did you research, or read books, or a combination of all?
Yeah, my particular, I have a kind of interesting family. On my mom's side, my mom is Irish, and I come from that long history of Irish resistance to British colonial control. So I grew up understanding the Irish struggle. Yeah. My grandfather comes from IRA and that kind of background, so I came out with a very clear understanding of occupation. Yeah. That in my father's side, he's from Hamoa, from Hana, and I grew up in a time when our family had faced, as a little boy, I would appear in court. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 years old. I'd first go to court and be part of family, as family Ohana, going in trying to protect their ancestral lands.
You're talking about immersion.
Yeah, so yeah. To me, and I always say that's the most important thing. That's why I'm very happy when I see Keiki running around, because that's the most important education, is the actual immersion. You in there from birth and beginning. You walk in the walk. So
you know things you don't even know.
Right, and you pick up things just from being around. And so even myself, many of the things that people I learned from, I met when I was young. I didn't really know that this uncle and auntie were already, as I call them, the godfathers and godmothers of the Hawaiian resistance. Yeah. And I see my role has always been a role where I take from them that's already inbred in me, and I want to pass it on to the next generation. So the next generation, as a Hawaiian educator, I believe is that so when a young walk on our aina, they understand that they're walking upon, everywhere they walk upon the iwi of our ancestors. So when people talk about what is the relationship to the earth, this is literally our ancestors that we walk upon. And so as our people walk and move upon this aina, see, fundamentally, I think that's a fundamental ideology that people must carry. That we cannot be alienated, we cannot be foreigners upon our own soul, but in fact we're just an extension of this. So I think if we start to walk about in this way, then we'll have, as Malcolm X, quoted by saying, the greatest mistake in organizing a people, has been trying to organize the sleeping people. You have to first wake them up to the humanity, and then you get action. And so we talk about Hawaiian sovereignty, and you have a lot of organizations trying to organize politically. I think the weak link in that has been understanding that what the fundamental piece that causes that organizing to occur is really the understanding of yourself as a Hawaiian.
Or the fundamentals that already link us together.
Together, right. You see, that's basically what unites us as a people. It's not whether we're Democrats or Republicans. It's really what a relationship that we have together with this aina that can never be severed, never be taken away. And
sometimes, like it or not, I mean, we're all a part of each other. We're all a part of our environment. We are it. It is us.
It is us. Yeah. And so when we walk around, the wind, the mountains, the sky, whatever we see is all part of who we are as a people. Even if we may travel to distant shores, we always know forever our deep connection to this aina. And we look at facts. So half of our people live outside of Hawaii. This is a fact we must face as a people. Yet, that people that's being raised outside of Hawaii are just as connected to is aina here. And I think fundamentally, see, that's why I say that's the potential. You see, that's why that's that great potential that people don't realize. Maybe with the people, they might see the small wave moving. I see that small wave, but I see that tidal wave coming from behind.
See the swell behind.
Oh yeah, because the potential is there. It's the organizing. So I go back to the Malcolm, it's the organizing, and the greatest thing that's going to organize this swell to me is this fundamental re-identification with our history as a people, as a culture, as this kind of identifying mark. So whether it's our leo, our language, or our ideology, or religion, or spirituality, will be that fact that's going to bind us as a people. And once that occurs, the politics will fall in right behind.
Yeah, well, I go along with that. To me, we have a nation, which is essentially the people. You talk about the politics, you're talking about the mechanics of a government. That's just a service to help us manage our lives. But the basic nation is us, and it's the people, the ones who share the language, the common ancestry, living on the same land. You talk about the huge number of Hawaiians, Karakamali, who are elsewhere in the world outside Hawaii. I've noticed a lot of them that I've bumped into in different locations are so lonely. Even though they're very successful elsewhere, and they do well elsewhere. Hawaiians do well wherever they go, and it's a lot easier in some places. But even so, there's kind of a loneliness there that you start playing Hawaiian music and the tears start rolling, because this is the homeland. This is the homeland, and it's interesting that a lot of them who are away are immersing themselves in every possible opportunity to internalize the cultural, our dances, our music, and so forth. And a lot of them are actually participating in the...
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So I see that. I agree with you that, engaging the keiki, they're automatically immersed in it. And I say that we look around and see the little ones here. They don't even know what they're absorbing, but they are absorbing it. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it very much. Anything else you'd like to share with our...
I always, my thing is saying, I always quote Stephen Biko, one of my great heroes. Stephen Biko was one of the leaders in the whole South African fight against apartheid. Mm-hmm. And as a young student, he has a quote to me that's most powerful. And he says, "The greatest weapon of the oppressor are the minds of the oppressed." And to me, again, fundamentally, we got us the education. It's us to understand that we are an oppressed people in our homeland. And what binds us, what keeps us from really doing what we need to do, again, is mainly within our minds. It's not really a gun of the colonized in a sense. It's really our own education, understanding of who we are. And so, meaning, read when you can read, listen when you can listen, share when you can share. If you're into planting trees, plant trees. If you're into a bit of water, fishing, whatever it might be that might draw you into your Hawaiianness, search it, find it, because that's the key, that's the thread that's going to unite us all.
Find your kuleana.
Find your kuleana.
If everybody finds their kuleana and everybody does their job, we have a thriving society. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Kiloa Ko, mahalo nui. Aloha. I'm happy to meet you and hope to see you many times again.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha. Thank you, bro.
Okay. Mahalo nui for being with us. Once again, we're coming to you from the Palace grounds here, Sunday, January 16th, 2006, commemorating the overthrow of the Hawaiian Kingdom. But, this year, even more importantly, celebrating our survival as a people, celebrating the unity that's evolving, celebrating the movement forward that we're making and reestablishing our sovereign Hawaiian Kingdom. On behalf of the Kiwani Foundation and the Voices of Truth program and all of the support people and staff, mahalo nui for watching Voices of Truth. Aloha.
formally it needs to happen while we're putting this. And with that, I'm
and then maybe he had a message for us.
yeah.
And that's why it's surfacing now.
Legislature, but he didn't stop at that. Prince Dunalilo asked for
Okay, we're going to go back, get across.
Citizenship as a United States citizen.
Yeah.
That's all salt.
Are you ready for us?